everybody. Thanks for stopping by to see what's next. Tonight I am going to decorate a cake for my nephew's first birthday party, which is tomorrow. And the cakes I've made, the cakes are just banana bread in the shape of a circle. So I baked these in a 6-inch round and two from one batch of batter. I'm going to use cream cheese frosting. I have some bananas here. I was thinking maybe I would put that inside, but I think maybe I'm just going to go for cream cheese icing, and just a little bit of it because my sister does not like for the kids to have too much sugar, which is fair. So we're going to go a little light on the icing that will go on the inside of the cake. Because I'm going to use cream cheese frosting. Obviously, we're going to take the cream cheese, put it into the good old Kitchen Maid, and mix it all up. Add the powdered sugar, some cream, and we will have some cream cheese frosting. And that will definitely be what's in the cake. To decorate the cake, I will make a batch of buttercream, because the buttercream is really what holds, I think of buttercream as cement, right? So in my head, the buttercream will hold the cake up. Now this isn't, again, it's not a cake, it's bread, but to decorate cream cheese with cream cheese frosting is actually more difficult because it doesn't like solidify the same as buttercream. But anyways, let's get this mix in and get some frosting going so that we can build a cake. So with frosting, I feel like you can kind of play with it to make it the consistency you want. So with this, I'm gonna just put in half the bag, and then I'll add in a few. Oh my god, I forgot vanilla. I'm going to add in about half the bag and vanilla, which I could have added in with the cream cheese already. How many cups are in here? 32 ounces. So that's, what is that? 8, 16, that's 4 cups. I'm gonna actually add in about 3/4 of the bag. Yeah. So that it's 3 cups. I'm gonna lock it and turn it on the lowest setting. And let me grab my vanilla to add to this. And then we'll add some cream. Okay, this frosting looks great, and you can see, I'm going to test it too. You can see in the texture of it that it's a pretty nice texture. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of looks like shit on the camera, but anyway, it looks good. Let's give it a taste. Yep. Easy peasy. So what did I use? A block of cream cheese, 3/4 of a bag. So what is that? 8, 16, 24 ounces of, what is this? I can't think. Confectioner sugar, some cream, and some vanilla. And I add as much vanilla as I think it deserves, which is usually more than any recipe calls for. And then I add cream until I get the texture I like. So this is going to be fine because I'm not using this batch to decorate. So this again is just for the inside layers. Okay, now let me, oh my god, why isn't this coming out? There we go. Okay, so this is what it looks like. There you go. And we are going to wipe this up. We're going to start building. Okay. So here I do have a little cardboard cake round on top of a little plastic cake spinner. These are frozen. I baked these a few days ago. I think I baked them on Tuesday. And it is Saturday. And even with regular cakes, when I decorate them, I will freeze them first. So I'm going to take a little bit of this frosting, put it on the bottom here. And then also this cake round is too big, but I don't have a smaller one here. So it's what we're going to use, and it's going to work. All right, let's get rid of that. Now, this I would usually put in a piping bag, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to fill it. We're just going to go for icing to glue it together. And the baby will not eat this whole thing. He'll get his hands into the top of it. I don't want too much on here anyway. Okay. Perfect. And then let's just put the second one on. And we'll build this up quick. He is having a Curious George first birthday. I'm going to put this cut side face down. And perfect. Okay. So he's having a Curious George birthday. I have some decorations for it that I will put onto the cake that are Curious George themed. But first we're going to do kind of a dirty ice with the cream cheese. It's going to kind of freeze on the cake, which is good. And you know, I talked to my sister about doing like a naked cake where you can see the cake through it, but I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't think, just because of the decorations that I think I want. Anyway, so I do dirty ice the cake, so that way I can do a top layer that is free of crumbs. What is this? A crumb coat. That's what it is. I'm official, I tell you. I actually am decent at baking cakes. I don't say I'm decent at a lot of things, but I'm decent at decorating cakes. I found an organization probably 2 years ago, and they have them nationwide. It's an organization called For Goodness Cakes. And this organization, what they do is they partner with group homes, not assisted livings, but basically with organizations that work with kids either in like, I don't want to say an underserved community, but kids that are in foster care or in group homes, stuff like that. And so they partner with these organizations to make sure that every kid gets a birthday cake. And so I had found this organization just through a search of volunteer opportunities by my house, and I started baking cakes for that. And I really enjoyed it. I'm going to get back into doing it because I really did enjoy it. But yeah, it's just kind of a nice, fun, creative outlet for people to bake, and they don't have to be, anything over the top or bakery looking. They could be just a sheet pan with some frosting from a jar and boxed cake mix. And the requirements are, you know, you you have to include the child's name on the cake somewhere or on the board or whatever. And the kids have an opportunity to be able to choose what kind of cake they want, what kind of theme, and what kind of filling. So I had done a few different cakes, and oh, and they'll do graduation cakes too. So aside from birthday cakes, they'll do graduation cakes or like any events too. So there have been opportunities for cookie baking and stuff like that. So just all kinds of stuff. But anyways, it's a really lovely organization and super easy. And I guess the draw is that you do have to deliver the cake to the organizations. You never meet the kids to protect their privacy. I shouldn't say never. There have been a few instances where people have been able to meet the children, but it is to protect them. All right, so crumb coat's done. I'm gonna go ahead and this is kind of pulling off a little bit, which is why 2 coats are necessary. But anyways, I'm gonna put this back in the freezer. It's also off center, but I'm not a professional, right? I said that from the get-go. I'm gonna put this in the freezer, and then I'm going to make the buttercream. And the buttercream I'm gonna do in 3 different colors. Well, I guess 4 different colors. I'm gonna do white, red, blue, and yellow. Let's put this away. Okay. So let's put. That's too much. Okay. I don't know, what is that? Maybe like an eighth of a cup. I'm gonna do an eighth of a cup or so of each color. Well, the red and blue at least. Because the red and blue I'm just gonna use to paint stars. And the reason I'm doing that, only the stars in those colors, is because with the gel, the dye will actually dye your skin a little bit. And I don't want his skin to be dyed. So yellow and white will be the most prominent colors, and that way it's not really an issue. But I do want to pipe the edges of the cake in yellow so that there's just some kind of finish there. So that's why yellow is getting the most. Okay, this is gonna work out perfect. Okay, now this is ready to be washed for the buttercream. Okay, blue blue dye will do, I guess, 2 drops in there. It's probably going to be too dark. If you've never used food gel or baking gel, what do you call this? Yeah, food gel. The colors are exponentially brighter than that would be of a liquid dye, like the McCormick dyes. So I just use, what brand is this? Satin Ice. They have it at Michael's. You can also order it online. And we'll do a few drops in there. I have a feeling that's going to come out very, very bright. Let's get a smaller spatula. Here we go. Okay. No, I don't want to start with the big one. All right, so it looks like nothing, but it's already turning dark blue. Okay. Just a few little mixes, and we have blue coloring. And you can do this in the KitchenAid. I don't find that it needs it, and especially for this. Now I do want it to be a little darker. Right now it's like almost like a cerulean, which is beautiful, but it's not primary color blue, and I really was hoping for primary blue. Do I have a darker to mix with it? No. No, I don't. I'm gonna try adding this. Let's see what happens. I hope that doesn't ruin it. Okay, so I added not even a full drop. It's probably like a dab of brown. And what I'm really hoping for is just like more of a navy. Not a navy, but you know, just a darker blue, which looks like that might work. Definitely change the shade to darker. I'm not going to use any more, that's for sure, but it did get darker. So that will be fine. It could probably use like a dab of, I don't know, purple or something. All right, let me wipe this off and let's mix up the red. Okay, let's make sure all that comes off so we don't end up with the good old purple. Okay, so same thing. I put 2 drops of red in here and easy, quick stir. It's turning bright red. So that's great. And if it's too pink, I'll add another drop. And this red, I actually also have a little bit darker. I think I'm gonna add one drop of darker red because this is bright, and it's got a little pink tint. Not orange. That's not what I'm going for. Deep red. So we'll add 1 drop of deep red. I have full faith that that will be adequate. Yeah. Maybe I could even add 1 more. I think I'm going to add 1 more deep red. Okay, 1 more deep red. And we'll even leave that out. There we go. Now, there's my red and blue. This yellow, if it doesn't come out the texture I want, what I'm going to do is just take the extra buttercream that I'll have and I'll make that yellow. But since it's here and I don't want to waste it, I'm going to mix it up. First, I'm going to wash this in the sink so I don't end up with orange. Yeah, no, I definitely want it yellow. Let me wash this. Okay, nice and clean. How many drops did I do here? A few, because there's a lot on top. You can see too with the cream cheese frosting that the consistency is very smooth. To thicken any frosting, you can just add more of the powdered sugar. I don't love the taste of powdered sugar. Honestly, I don't love the taste of powdered sugar, and I don't like the taste of buttercream at all. So I do try to use buttercream pretty sparingly. This yellow will be perfect to be painting with. I don't think I'm going to use this to pipe the edges though, because this is like, what would I compare this consistency to? Like Skippy peanut butter, like smooth peanut butter. And the melting point on this is lower. So, you know, with a lot of people inside, I don't need anything dripping down the cake. But I do like that color. So there's our 3 colors right there. I'm going to definitely make some yellow buttercream. And then right here I have butter, full stick of butter. That is what, 8 ounces. It's salted. I hate using salted butter for something like this, but this is what I have. So, salted butter it is. And let's go ahead and put that in the good old KitchenAid. Go on. I'm glad I did that because now I know that my bowl is not locked into place. Did that all come out? Ish came out. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's turn this on. Vanilla. And with this, I should have grabbed it before. With buttercream, I add water. And you should add warm water. I just add water, if that says anything. Okay, water at the ready. That honestly might not even be enough. Let's mix that vanilla in. Okay, now here comes what, 1 cup? Maybe 1.5 cups. Here comes the rest of the bag, right? All right, and then this will probably end up being the whole bag as well, but I'm okay with whatever's in there right now, I think. All right, we're gonna lock it and turn. I start on low and I start adding the water. And once I see it incorporating, I will turn it up higher. So it's starting to incorporate right now and it's getting a little crumbly. And I can hear it starting to struggle. So it definitely needs more moisture. So the butter that I used is so rich. This is coming out like a creamy yellow, not a vibrant yellow, a creamy yellow. What I'm thinking is we will now have a yellow cake. And I don't have white food dye. So, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I guess we just go with it without it being white, right? It doesn't need to be pure white. It's probably too starkly contrasted anyway. All right, let's do this. Okay, texture looks great. Now, for this, I don't need that. I'm done with these. I will maybe use that. For this one, I'm only going to take about, I don't know what I need out because the rest I'll leave in here and just mix the yellow food coloring with it. So you can see here, you see how it stays up like that? That's why I like buttercream because it's strong. So that is what I'm going to use to put on the outer icing, or frosting I should say. Icing is thinner. It's a beautiful consistency. The texture of it's really nice. Let me show you. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that because of the light, but you can see it in there. It's nice and smooth. So that's kind of how you want your buttercream to be. You can also see though, it's the color of butter, and that rarely happens, but I did use a richer butter. Okay, let me wash my hands, get the cake out of the freezer, get this thrown on there, and let's get decorating. Okay, so here is our little cake out of the freezer. This is solid now. Nothing's coming off on, actually it's not solid, but it's frozen, so it's not coming off on my fingers. This is my favorite guy right here, this little white plastic guy. Even though this is small, for some reason, this will always be my go-to. I am gonna get some buttercream on here. We will buttercream it. That might be enough for the whole cake, but I like to start with more and take off whatever I need. And I shouldn't really get too many crumbs because I have that crumb coat. So let's get this going. Get that around there. And this is the layer that I need to get smooth, right? So this is the layer that will have the decorations on it, but also this is the layer that everyone will see, right? Like it's the most exposed. This is, if you're doing makeup, your foundation, right? The bottom is your skin, and this is the foundation. Anyway, though, going back to For Goodness Cakes, look it up in your area because 10 out of 10 recommend doing it. You don't have, that's another thing. You can sign up to do it as much or as little as you want. I mean, to stay consistent is kind of good, but I think in 1 year between January and like May, I did 12 bakes or something like that, potentially more. I think it was actually 14. You know, and it's rewarding. You know, it just in a way that you don't expect. You know, it's just a feel good kind of. It's a feel good task. You don't. It's rewarding in the sense that it's going to a kid who otherwise might not have a birthday cake or might not have a graduation cake, something like that. So that's nice because without you or whoever at the organization, you know, they might not have that, and that every kid deserves a cake or a cookie or something like that for their birthday. Could you imagine when you were little not getting that? It's the bare minimum we can do for them. You know, them or their family is already in a tough situation. So okay, so this I see where I'm gonna need to add. Let's add here for sure, and then obviously here. And we'll add here and here. Now I will say that when the frosting is warm, it's easier to work with. Once it starts to solidify is when we start to see that pulling, or if it's getting overworked. So I'm at a point now where it's getting to a point where I need to finish up this layer, but it is starting to look good. And I also have to remind myself that, you know, the stars will go over it, there will be piping, and it's for a 1-year-old. It's for a 1-year-old who is going to smash the cake. So, you know, does it need to be perfect? No, but I do like things to be nice. So, I actually just made a birthday cake for my aunt for her. She had a pretty big birthday, and that cake came out really nice. Maybe I'll add a picture here. And I like to do this for family, and as long as I don't feel pressured to do it. I've actually been asked by some coworkers and even my family. I've been told by family that I'm in the wrong career and I should be baking. But I don't know, I feel like when you have a hobby, once you turn it into a job, it's not fun anymore. At least this kind, for me. No, it's not for everyone. For me. I also don't love to deal with people. So, because of that, this will just stay a hobby. And, I actually will be baking a cake for somebody's daughter that I work with, and I'm totally okay with that. I think every once in a while is nice, but to keep it consistent, no. Okay, so it's pretty smooth right now. What I am gonna do though is I'm gonna heat this up under some water and run this over it a few times, and it will be chef's kiss, nice and smooth. The top looks pretty good. Smooth it out just a little bit more. And I'm gonna put that edge on it, so I'm not too worried about that. I get more worried about like this. This is what I don't like. I can see something that's not like a dent. I don't like that. Okay. But yeah, I think that looks good. Oh, I just messed it up. I think I'm gonna just leave it. Yeah. Okay. Let me run this under hot water, get this around, and we'll start putting stars on. Okay, the plastic is doing well, but it will work better with metal, which I do try to avoid. Which I'm gonna have to avoid because I'm not sure where my dough cutter is. What do I want to do? Let's give it a go with this guy. Okay, this is still hot, so hopefully I could get this. Oh gosh, the angle on this is so different. Okay. This doesn't work perfectly. I'm just gonna call it. But I'm actually not upset with how it's looking. Okay, that's that. Let me put that there. And then I'm going to just wipe the water and frosting that's down here. Now, also this is all in real time, okay? This is not sped up. this is in fact how long it takes. Do I want to do some big ones? I don't. I think this is the appropriate size star. It's probably, I don't know, an inch and a half. Yeah, maybe an inch. Little inch stars. So what I'm going to do is just start imprinting stars on the cake, and we will paint them. Okay, so hard for you to tell from there, but there are little stars all around the cake. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little flat brush that I have. It's just a flat brush, small flat brush. I'm going to alternate stars, red, blue, yellow, I think. I don't know how many there are, but that's the pattern we're going to go for. And I'll spin it around once I do the first couple. Actually, no, I'll probably just do a few blue and then switch colors so I don't have to wash the paintbrush between each one. All right, let's get it going. Let us get this in here. Let's put some stars on. This will be easier for you to see. Here I have put you in 3.5 speed because you would be watching me put stars on this cake for over a half hour. I outlined each star with the piping tip, and then I took the paintbrush and basically painted the icing in towards the center of the star. So I started with blue because it's the darkest color, and then I moved to red, and then I did the yellow. And then after I completed all the stars, I mixed yellow food coloring into the second half of the buttercream, and I iced on, or frosted, I guess it would be frosted, and I frosted on the border on the top and the bottom of the cake. And then after that, I attached our little Curious George and first candle, and I was satisfied with how it looked, and that's how I left it. looking cute. Now I am going to put some yellow drops into this buttercream. Huzzah, huzzah. I am going to take this spatula and get around these edges, and we are going to make the yellow to pipe around the top edge and the bottom edge. Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. It's interesting to see how different colors react in buttercream versus the cream cheese icing. Bags everywhere. Okay, now also there's a little bit of water right here. I don't really want that to be stuck in there. Perfecto. Okay. It's like egg yolk yellow. That's what it looks like. Egg yolk. So this didn't mix all the way. Does my impatience surprise you? Did I not mix it long enough? Like, what happened here? I don't think I did. Okay, well. Now the rich color is right here. Oh, don't really want to touch that, but I did. Okay. So you can see, maybe, buttercream is thicker, stiffer, it's more firm, and none of these things want to open. Now I'm hoping that this little guy will be the tip that I want. Might be too small, but let's give it a go. No, that's perfect. Okay, let's see. This is going to be the back. How do I want to do this? That's how. Okay, spatula. Let's get this off since that's not how I'm going to do that. What did I do? I see. Okay. this is coming out. So I'm going to choose a different tip. Oh man. This one. Yeah, this one, well, this one should work. Let us try. Let us try it. Let us try it. Okay. I think that looks good. Good enough, right? Looks good enough. Do I want to add any of these? If I do, I think it's starting to tilt here. I'm not sure I want to add any of these. I think we're going to do George. I think that's going to be fine. We have a Curious George cake. How about that? I'm going to clean up and give you a close up. Okay. There he is. Stars all around. Got a shaky hand. Sorry about it. But there he is on an angle. Curious George. All right, the kitchen's all cleaned up. Thanks for joining, seeing what it takes for me to decorate a cake. It took about a half hour plus one. It took about an hour and a half to decorate this little guy, and it came out pretty cute for a cake that's going to be ruined by little hands. But yeah, thanks for stopping by to see what's next. Come back again real soon. Let me know what you like, what you don't like. I'm trying out some new things, trying to find my footing. Don't really know what I'm doing here yet, but if you like, give a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.